What's up, Phil? Week 15, Saturday, three-game slate for DraftKings. I was going to go through my process. Um, so, looking at up here real quick with the three games, you have Indy at Minnesota. Minnesota's a 4.5 point favorite. Total's 47.5. Baltimore's at Cleveland. Total's 38.5. Super low total. Cleveland's a 3 point favorite. Miami at Buffalo, which I believe is snowing. Buffalo a 7.5 point favorite. Um, all of these are low totals. Miami at a 44.5. I mean, it's hard to like the 38 total at all, but I think it's actually going to be too under owned. I know right now the ownerships aren't populating. I have ownerships here, at least the first run from Establish the Run. So we can go over ownership here in a second. As you can already see, like not only is Jonathan Taylor the best value in the slate by like a landslide. You have Cook and Jefferson as values. Hawkinson, I think the best rated tight end, and then Cousins the best rated QB. So it's going to be the chalkiest, the best projecting, all sorts of things. So here's Fantasy Labs lineup builder. You have to at least exclude two or at least lock in a player before you can start running lineups. And what I like to do at the beginning is I like to go through, like, if there's any kind of somewhat confusing backfield splits, specifically like the Ravens, I want to look at the last game, maybe the last three games. And so I'll come in here and I'll say, okay, let's look at, sometimes I'll also come in here and I'll sort by projected plus minus. It's probably going to have Jonathan Taylor at the top. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. Sometimes I'll sort by salary. Here I'm just going to sort by team. I'm going to look at the splits real quick for Kenyon Drake. I believe it was mostly Dobbins and Edwards, but it could have been, yeah. So Drake only had 11 out of 61. I'm honestly probably going to XL Drake. Gus Edwards had a third of the snaps, and I think, so that means combined they had about half. I think Dobbins had half, almost half. So he had 15 attempts, 120 yards and a touchdown. That does include a 44-yard rush. No receiving targets. He had 2 red zone attempts. Gus Edwards, did he have any catches? No catches as well. I guess Kenyon Drake's kind of like the third down back. And I guess Justin Hill got some snaps in. Kenyon Drake had 1 carry. Yeah, so he had two receptions on 2 targets. Cleveland has been a team that you can run pretty well against. I should probably pull up the DVOAs, but that's okay. And then something that I like to do at the very beginning, which may be like, noobish of me, is I like to actually just go look at. So Browns have played the Ravens before. Not saying same things are going to happen, but I like to kind of just see. A lot of times, coaches will run out similar game plans, especially if they won. And so obviously Deshaun Watson wasn't playing, but they have 27 throws to 24 rushes. Cooper, DPJ, and Njoku are like heavily leading the way. Chubb even got 3 targets this game, which is kind of interesting. And then obviously Lamar Jackson's going to be out now, and we have Huntley in. This is, I think, when J.K. Dobbins was down, so Gus Edwards kind of splitting a lot with Drake, obviously, and Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews had a carry. Wow, Andrews had 0 receptions on 2 targets. This is gross. They had 16 pass attempts and 44 rush attempts. Yikes. I actually like J.K. Dobbins here, so this actually makes me feel better. Something I also like doing for the other 2 games is I like to look at. So Buffalo has played Miami before. This was very early in the season. I think the third game. 63 pass attempts for Josh Allen. They did lose the game. They were trailing only in the fourth quarter. And then, yeah, they didn't really run the ball that much. I guess Singletary got the most carries. Singletary had 9 catches on 11 targets. I really like Diggs this game. Diggs had 11 targets as well. I kind of want to maybe play Singletary or Cook, either with Diggs or without, just because pricing's so tight on this slate. And then on the Miami side, obviously Edmonds is gone. Jeff Wilson's in. Jeff Wilson's injury status is going to be a huge determining factor to if we're playing Mostert or not, what we think the field's going to do. And we kind of know where they go in Miami. It's basically Waddle and Hill. I may play a $3,000 Cedric Wilson Jr. Mostly because pricing's so tight and it's kind of like a way to get unique. And then Colts and Vikings haven't played each other. So what I like doing is I like looking at the last time the Colts won, which was like I think 3 games ago, and just kind of getting a feel for like rush versus pass splits, target share splits. Looks like Pittman, looks like Granson. I'm surprised that Granson's out snapping and out targeting Woods so much. I think Woods is a beast. And then this is the last game, which we all saw them get crushed by Dallas. Woods doesn't have, Granson still has 6 targets, Pierce with 8. This was just an awful performance from Matt Ryan. I don't really want to target the passing game from the Colts. The Minnesota defense is just terrible everywhere. And then let's see, Jonathan Taylor had 4 targets and 21 carries. Okay, so Jonathan Taylor still has such a dominant percentage of the backfield. And then the Vikings' last win, I want to say it was 2 games ago against the Jets. Dalvin got vultured. I actually like Dalvin a little bit. I know the line's banged up. Jets were a tough matchup. Colts, I think, are actually tougher against the air than they are the ground. And Jefferson's just been a target hog. And I guess Thielen and Hawkinson are okay plays here. And then here's their last game where we saw Jefferson go for 223 yards on 15 targets. So yeah, I try to just kind of get a better feel for the teams. Obviously, I'm going to heavily lean on the projections, but sometimes the projections are there's too much like old data built into the number, or maybe there's too much recency bias for ownership, and I just want to kind of get a feel for if I think there's trends or if I think something's fluky. How much do I want to rely on priors, stuff like that. So I want to first run through the positions just so in my head I know who I think is going to be popping up a lot and who I should be playing. If Kirk Cousins is really going to be 28%, I think that number gets to at least 40, maybe 45, 50 in the 200 or higher small fields. And so I think that the best way to go about that is just fading Cousins. It's weird because I don't really think you can separate that much at QB, certainly not amongst these except for Josh Allen. And so I still like playing Josh Allen because I don't know. I certainly would like him less if he was the top owned, but as the second most owned, sorry, 1 second. Interesting. Okay. So it's weird. I think QB chalk sometimes is okay because QB is not really different. Doesn't differentiate as much unless you have guys like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, and we have Josh Allen So I don't know. I think I want to. I think I want to fade Cousins. That's like my initial read. I haven't really thought. I actually kind of like Huntley. I kind of like everybody but Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins. So does that mean we want to? I'm eating a cookie. Play Justin Jefferson and hope that we can basically absorb, a huge chunk, like 60%, 80% of the whole offense's points just by playing Jefferson. So all the people that play Cook, Thielen, Hawkinson, Cousins, they're playing too many pieces that didn't really score well, and I could just play Jefferson. And yeah, they're going to play Jefferson too, but I'll be different elsewhere. Um, Similarly with Allen, like, can I just play Diggs? Can that capture enough of the offense? I'm actually not sure now because one, Xavier Howard is pretty good. Two, they're in the snow. The snow just like creates this weird variance where like I can see Cook getting there. I can see like James Cook. I can see Singletary getting there. I can see both running backs getting there. I can see the receivers getting there. I can also see like Buffalo spreading it out and Isaiah McKenzie and Gabe Davis getting there. And so I'm way more unsure what to do around Buffalo. I'm trying to heavily fade Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor is going to be an interesting decision. I think if you can not play Kirk Cousins, I think it's probably it's definitely okay to play Jonathan Taylor. I'm not gonna. You could probably also still fade Jonathan Taylor, but if you do play Kirk Cousins, then it's a lot tougher of a question if you fade Taylor or not. And again, we're just going to be building one lineup. So I'm going to be talking about under 1,000-person field. I think the 200 is like a 300-person field. So like, especially when there's only 6 teams, 3 games, I think it's more optimal to game stack a little bit heavier. And I think it's more optimal to I think it's like a higher payoff to be contrarian because the downs, like there's not so many other players in games where they can beat you. And I just think the ownership is just gonna over condense in these small fields. So looking at running back, we have only Jonathan Taylor and Dalvin Cook as values. I'm not sure why Mostert. I know Buffalo has a good D line even without Von Miller. I don't know why Mostert's not showing up as a value. I don't even think they have. What just happened there? What? Oh, that was just okay. CJ Ham is apparently a running back. They don't even have Jeff Wilson Jr. projected to play. So, man, it doesn't like any. It doesn't even like Salvin Ahmed with they have Ahmed projected for 3 points. It's kind of low. Gaskin doesn't even really come in the game. Look at all these low projections here. Like these are like literally not playable. And then I go over here to the front tab. I guess J.K. Dobbins is playable. But 8.4 is just still so low. I mean, look at this 22 base projection for 2K more. And then it likes Cook a little bit more than Singletary. I think Chubb's an interesting play. I was like basically off Chubb the whole week. But kind of thinking about how they played the Ravens the last game, thinking about just like what's been going on with the Browns recently. I think playing Chubb with Watson's kind of interesting, and I think if we're gonna lean into this, like either Huntley or Watson game stack, I think Chubb's an interesting piece. And Hunt is just not playing that much anymore. Receiver, like the pricing is just so tough, as you can see. Like it has 2 values: Michael Pittman Jr., Justin Jefferson. I think Pittman's okay at that price. I mostly want to fade Colts though. Thielen, Diggs, love Diggs. I'm really worried about Tyreek's health. They were like in a not a must win, but they were losing the game. And Tyreek, I mean, he guided it out, but he was like coming out of plays. He would like catch the ball, go rest for 2 plays, catch the ball, go get his like ankle worked on. And I think he's going to play again. He's for sure not 100%, and he also is probably high chance of re-injuring. Um, that's just my take, though. I normally don't make these like hard of a takes on injuries, but and then so I would boost Waddle in my projections because they have Waddle way down here, and he does have a pretty high range of outcomes. Like he has a high ceiling. Um, but yeah, DPJ is okay. These are just all so gross. Like look at these receivers. It's just gross. And then obviously tight end is just gross too. I don't think anyone on the second page is even worth looking at. Harrison Bryant's kind of interesting. I'm not really sure what Njoku's ankle is like. I know he's going to play. I know he played last game, but Isaiah Likely is kind of interesting because of his price too. Same with Jelani Woods, I guess, in Granson, but I don't know what to do here. Maybe we just pair him with our QB. Maybe we just punt with like a Granson or a Woods. Okay, that's enough rambling. Let's run some lineups. So I'm gonna basically just run. I don't always do ceiling. Let's do a ceiling optimal with no settings. Players versus defense. Yeah, so we're gonna basically run just. I think if I was playing like the $20 Millie Maker, I would not allow all the salary to be spent. Um, it's kind of like that Thanksgiving slate. Like you just want to be unique. But this is a tougher slate than the Thanksgiving slate. I played a Thanksgiving slate, and they were just like better offenses with more positions, but like easier pricing. Man, it's gonna really give me 90% Kirk Cousins. It's gonna be fun to X that out and run it again. Okay, so yeah, we're not even hitting 200 here. Average ceiling 188, and then we're only getting a 190 as our top. So we have Kirk Cousins to Dalvin to Jefferson. I guess there's some cheap pieces in the Colts. This is a huge Colts game stack. Bring it back with Taylor, Pearson, Pittman. I mean, I don't hate that. Kind of punt with Njoku, with Isaiah McKenzie, Bills D. I kind of like that. 49.9. That is interesting. I'd actually probably prefer this build because it has KJ Osborne. It has KJ Osborne and Paris Campbell instead of Njoku and Pierce. Yeah, I think this one is a little bit better. This one's going to get played a lot. So, okay, what's the high? Okay, we have a Huntley lineup here. Huntley, naked. Yeah, so it looks like it really likes these. Sorry, my son's making some noise here. Let me take out Cousins and let me run it again. And then something what I'll do as well. So like I'm for sure probably not playing Cousins. I also think Cousins sucks. And so what I also will do is I hope this picture's in frame. I don't know what my screen's doing. Okay, so what I'll also do is I won't allow for 100%. I'll put limits on just to try to get more diversified and see like how different teams look. And then I also start kind of Xing out some players that I don't want. Like I don't want Matt Ryan. Get that 6% out of there. Okay, so and then I also start making rules. Huntley naked is just. Is there any Mark Andrews in this? I think I'm gonna force Mark Andrews with the Huntley. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make some rules. Let's go We're gonna X out Matt Ryan. We're gonna play Mark Andrews with Huntley. And then we've got Tua. We're gonna play at least yeah, that's fine. Who else do we have? Watson. We're gonna play at least one of Njoku, DPJ, and Amari. This may be too early to be putting these rules in, but that's okay. And then Josh Allen. Running Josh Allen would be kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna lock Diggs in with Allen, and then figure out if I want to play Dawson Knox and other pieces. Okay, so apply those settings. Let's X out Matt Ryan. And then let's take out, we're not going to play Feldman. We're not going to play Ingold or Ahmed, probably. Yeah. Probably not playing Naheem Hines or Kenyon Drake. Gus Edwards is interesting. I like J.K. Dobbins. It's 200 more, and I think J.K. Dobbins started the game. Sometimes what I'll do also is I will come in here. I think who starts the game is kind of interesting. J.K. Dobbins, no gain. What a first, just 3 and out, just no gain, incomplete. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, I guess we'll keep Edwards in for now, but probably Xing him out. And then I like Waddle. I don't know why Waddle is. I'm gonna probably manually boost this projection. How many snaps did Doolin play last week? 20. They were like mad at Pierce for dropping the ball. Doolin got a little bit of work in the first half, and then Pierce just kind of goes off in the second half, and Doolin just gets iced. I think Sherfield like way out snap Cedric. 31 out of 51. Cedric 20 out of 51. That's actually closer than I thought. Okay, we're gonna leave a lot of stuff here for now, and we're gonna run some more. Okay, so this should bring down our ceiling a lot. I don't even know if we're gonna average 180. Okay, we're averaging 185. It's not bad. So wow, 93% Deshaun Watson. I think it just hates the pieces. That's what I'm getting. It hates. So it's interesting. Like the people that play these single entry like higher buy-in fields are definitely pros that are running optimizers that are gonna like the Kirk Cousins. But they're also running optimizers with rules that are forcing in, these stacks. But then like hand builders are probably more likely to play the premier names like the Diggs, like the Jeffersons, like the Hills, depending on, regardless of how they're projecting, basically. Okay, we're gonna need to adjust this. 82% Deshaun Watson. So Phil, you were liking this stack. Yeah, I think I would want. The thing is, this game can that's a 38 total, and so for this game to be optimal, or for for Deshaun Watson to be the optimal QB, like I guess Cleveland can just blow out the Ravens and win like 30-10, but I feel like with how much they run Chubb, like the Ravens would have to push them. And so I think you would want the Ravens to. I just don't know how much projection you're sacrificing by trying to kind of force that correlation in. But I think I'm going to rerun the rules now with some bringbacks, thinking about it. Miami and Miami and Buffalo both kind of push themselves regardless, I think, of the situation. And then I think the Colts Vikings game is kind of like the Ravens Cleveland game. It just has, it's in a dome. It has better offensive pieces, kind of worse defenses. But this is a 1 week sample. This is a 3 game sample. And that game's going to be the most owned. I think playing Dalvin is just like really interesting leverage. I think that's really it. Playing the defenses is okay, but like it's really not because defense is just so terrible. The range of outcomes were like the game duds, but the defense like literally outscores all the other defenses too, and that game duds is just like it's like a way less than 10% I think of the time. And honestly, I think playing any defense is probably fine, other than if one is like mega owned. I didn't look at that actually. Defense. Yeah, so this like Vikings Colts, these defenses are going to be less owned because that game stack is going to happen. People don't like to play defenses against their players. So yeah, let's add some rules here. I think we want at least one of Dobbins. And I think I'm going to double stack here. So at least 2. I think we want Dobbins, Andrews. I guess we can add these guys for now. What is this guy's name? Robinson. Who even played for the freaking... This was their last game. Who even got targets last game? Deshaun Jackson, 2 targets. Don't worry. I mean, this is pathetic. 42 rushes. I have to be quiet here. I guess we'll put Gus Edwards here. And then I think Huntley's going to need to be pushed as well. At least one of Hunt, Chubb, DPJ, Njoku, Amari. I don't know how I feel about Harrison Bryant yet. No rules other than de-stacking. I guess what we can do is I can just do this and see if maybe the Diggs Allen thing is just too much salary. Isaiah McKenzie. I even like freaking pairing him. Oops, not Woods. James Cook. Dawson Knox. Okay. Let me know what you think about these rules, by the way. So I think I'm being a little bit, I think I'm making too many rules too early, but I'd like to have like a lineup done by tomorrow, and hopefully by tomorrow we get the news on Jeff Wilson. That's kind of the only piece we're waiting on here. Wow. So, wow. Josh Allen skinny. We're basically blanketing the Vikings Colts game. It's just kind of weird that I'm just trying to play this out in my head. Like I think you don't have to worry about scoring as many raw points on a 3-game slate, and especially in a small field. I think that you can take some sacrifices to just projection, raw points, lean into correlation, play heavy ownership, game theory, because to me, looking at this lineup, while it does look pretty sick, like how would this actually win? Like Josh Allen would have to outscore Kirk. Okay, that's believable, but like Thielen and Hawkinson score well, but Kirk doesn't score that well. And then Jefferson, it's like it just doesn't. I wouldn't want this many pieces, and I would probably want to just overload the game that I'm playing with my quarterback for the most part. So I'm actually gonna probably start bringing some pieces back here. I like this Mostert run back. Man, it just really likes this Colts game. I think Harrison Smith's out. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to only play Jonathan Taylor, which is just pretty aggressive of me. Because, actually, I'll keep their tight ends. The tight ends are, like, punty enough. I don't think Mo Alley's worth playing now. How many snaps did Mo Alley play? He played half. How many did Jelani play? Okay, you played 25%. Is that what I just saw right there? Less than 25%. Kyle Granson, I guess, is the main guy. Yeah, so Kyle Granson's okay. We're not gonna play. Look at this. Kyle projects better than Jelani, but has a lower ceiling. I agree with that in theory, but like, you know, maybe we. Okay, so I think I'm gonna allow Isaiah Likely. Actually, do I even want to do that? Mark Andrews is just so good. He's coming out. I mean, this is mostly the other quarterback, Brown, who was subbing in for the Huntley. I thought he had 0 for 2. Oh, that was earlier in the year. Yeah, he had 0 for 2 against the Browns. That's when he got hurt. Okay, yeah, that's when I played him in captain and lost a bunch. Okay, so I mean, since coming back from injury, since they beat the Bucks, he, I guess, was hurt and missed the Saints game. But then, since coming back from injury, 8 targets, 6, playing 75, 80, playing 80, 90% of the snaps. Isaiah Likely, goose eggs, just not playing enough. Yeah, I like the force correlation of Mark Andrews. All right, let's try this again with no Colts receivers, because get the freaking Colts receivers out of there. Okay. So yeah, one of the stances I'm taking is I'm fading Ryan and I'm fading all the Colts receivers except for the tight ends, and then I'm going to be fading Cousins. Those are like my two big kind of stances. Oh, that's probably something that I skipped over too quickly. I showed the ETR projections. I kind of want to talk about the IKB. I know better. What do I think is going to happen? Who do I like in this game? Regardless of price, and then also with price and ownership as well. Okay, so obviously I like Josh Allen. That's probably who I like the most. I like Josh Allen in snow. I like Josh Allen in the revenge game. We just saw him avenge beating. They lost to the Jets. They just beat the Jets last week. They lost to the Dolphins early. This is now coming back to Buffalo. Yeah, I like Allen a lot. Watson, Tua are kind of whatever to me. Huntley's kind of whatever to me. And then I like Diggs. I like playing a running back for the Bills. I just don't know if I should be playing Woods or if I should be playing Singletary. I like Jonathan Taylor. I like Jonathan Taylor before I saw his price and his ownership, but I like Jonathan Taylor going into this game. And I'm trying to think who else I like here. I didn't really like the Cleveland Ravens game that much, but Yeah, I guess I like the Miami side more than the projections. Like I like Waddle. I guess my strongest take coming in here is that I'm a little bit. I mean, I think Hill's playable, but actually, what I'm trying to get at is I like Waddle a lot more than the public. Yeah, so this is just such a price. Like Allen just makes everything so expensive. The thing is, Allen, him being hard to stack, I think is gonna like make you really unique. If you kind of force some Allen stacks, like I think like it is really reasonable to play as Allen single because he has so much rushing upside and he can get rushing touchdowns. But um, Bills are just going to be low owned anyway, and like you just gain so much when these if you have some of these low owned pieces. Even Diggs, I don't think Diggs is really going to be on. Let's look at ownership now. Okay, so we've already looked at QB. We're already fading Cousins. Problem with Allen being so close to Cousins is like we could see like a situation where it's like 40%, 30%, and then the field has the rest. I'm okay with that. If it was like 40%, 40%, and then the rest, that would be a little bit grosser. I mean, just look at the price again. Like he is 2,300 more than Cousins, who's like the best projected quarterback. It's a shit ton. There's just not much value on this slate. And then running back, let's look at ownership here. Um, I'd probably lean fading Taylor, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, if I was playing Cousins, but not playing Cousins, I'm okay. I think playing Taylor's okay. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but this Mostert projection seems low. Guess we can see how many snaps Ahmed played last game. They don't even have Miles Gaskin on here. Ahmed only played 5 snaps. Mostert played 37, and that's with Wilson playing some before he got hurt. Wow. Okay. So I like Mostert a lot. I like Chubb. I actually like a lot of the running backs in this range. It just kind of grosses me out that they're not projecting well. And honestly, as long as you don't play maybe JT and Dalvin together, or maybe JT, like as long as you don't play two of these three, there's the top three owned, then I think you can play any of these as like a one-off, or I think you're fine. So I'll probably set a rule to max one of these guys. Like if I play Mostert, I can't pair him with Taylor or Cook. Receiver. Okay, yeah. So even though these guys don't project that well, the public is still going to be mashing Diggs and Tyreek Hill. Surprised to see Davis up at 24%, especially when Allen's projection is 25%. That's pretty high on Davis. It's pretty high. Isaiah McKenzie. Is there anything that's like somewhat projecting okay that's low owned? No, everyone would know about it. And then tight end. I think as long as you don't play Hawkinson and Cousins, you're going to be unique at tight end. So, okay, what were we looking at these up? What were these lineups? What did we not like about them? What the hell is KJ Osborne doing? Yeah, so it just really hates, I guess, my rules because it's giving me all Josh Allen here. So let's cancel. Oops, cancel. Yeah, I would just have to force. Like, yeah, it just doesn't like this. Um, I think what I can do here is I can say, I'll go against what I said earlier where they don't need to be pushed. just maybe heavily stack this game, I think is something that's kind of interesting. Because I think we're gonna want a game stack here. I think this is gonna be a low scoring slate as well. I think that's fine. I think we can add the other pieces in maybe later. I guess we'll have it be just like the bigger pieces, the 2 running backs, the 3 receivers, and yep, okay. So we're gonna really force some stacks in here. Just doesn't like. Let's see what we can get here. How long is this video right now? Oh man, we're coming up on time. This is too long. So yeah, if it's too hard to stack this game, because it's weird because like you get a lot of salary relief with Knox, McKenzie, and Davis, and I guess Mostert, but I want to like heavily stack. Like I don't want no 3 Vikings in my lineup that have Josh Allen at quarterback, and so yeah, I'm gonna probably have to do some stuff like at least 2. I don't think I want to play any KJ Osborne. I don't even know this guy's name. KJ Osborne. I mean, he's on the field a lot. Scored a touchdown last week. He had 2. He scored a rushing touchdown and had a receiving touchdown. Maybe I just limit exposure to that game when I have Allen at quarterback. I'm guessing it's going to give me still a bunch of Allens, even though I'm forcing 2 pass catchers. This lineup's kind of interesting because it's like, yes, it plays Taylor, chalky, right? Yes, it plays Dalvin. The thing is, Dalvin's going to give you a little bit of uniqueness. If you have against all the Cousins lineups, the problem is Dalvin with Taylor is probably not that unique, and also Dalvin with Taylor with Allen is probably going to be duped a lot as well. Like I said earlier, I wouldn't let these be paired together. And this lineup is interesting to me here. We have double tight end, big Njoku fan. We have Taylor Mostert, which may be high owned, but at least it correlates. Maybe we switch the D's to be unique and save some salary. But then Justin, Jefferson, Thielen, bring it back with Taylor. And then basically full fade the low total game. This is kind of sick. I may try to, I think I would prefer Gabe Davis right here at 5K. And then I think I would maybe try to get down to like maybe Colts D. That gives me an extra 500 to play with. Maybe I guess I can get up to 4,700 here. I mean, what is it? 4 Vikings? Huntley to Andrews, bring it back with Njoku. That is disgusting. Okay, so we have 80% Josh Allen. Show me the Tua lineups at least. Okay, we got 1 out of 134 Deshaun Watson lineups. Deshaun Watson to DPJ to Njoku. Bring it back with Duncan Robinson. God, please no. Exit out. Where are the Tua lineups? It just hates Waddle. And then where are the Huntley lineups? Here are the Huntley lineups. Yeah, Huntley's got better projection here, that's for sure. The only thing I like about Huntley is like you save 3K off Josh Allen, and then I could still play like a Singletary Diggs. I think that's kind of interesting. Similarly, if we play, basically, if I didn't play Tua or Allen, I would want to play Diggs and or Singletary. Why is Tua not showing up? What do I have in my settings? All right, I'm gonna leave it at that because this is just me tinkering a bunch. I like that I've X'd out 2 of the 6 quarterbacks, and I'm interested to see what happens to Jeff Wilson Jr. Interested to see how Tyreek's ankle's doing. Interested to see ownership's updated tomorrow. I don't know why it doesn't. I guess it just hates the Bills players. Like what happens if I lock Tua? Am I gonna not even be able to get 180? Let's see if maybe I'll be in the 170s with my average, but can I get a 180 lineup? I guess I can't. And then yeah, it just won't play. It just won't play Waddle because his projection's so bad. Yeah, Tua in the snow. I think I'm gonna X out. But all right, Phil. Talk soon. Let me know what you think.